Okay. Apple, apple, plum, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apple, 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 plum. Let's try that again. Apple, apple, plum, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apple, 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 plum. Okay, this is a rhythm that I never want spoken in my class. You want to know why? Apple, apple, plum, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apple, 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 plum.
The name of this book is Because.
Okay, we start with Ludwig van Beethoven, bum, 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 and Franz Schubert. Okay, here we go. Because a man named Ludwig wrote beautiful music, a man named Franz was inspired to create his own. Because many years later, people wanted to hear Franz's beautiful music, they formed an orchestra. Because a man had practiced since he was a kid, he was asked to join. What instrument is he playing? There he is as a little kid. There's his picture. Because a woman studied night and day, she too was asked to play. Because many others loved and practiced their musical instruments, there were enough magicians. What do you see? A bassoon, a cello, a French horn, and what? A flute. Because someone created a poster about Franz's music, tickets were sold. Graphic artist. Because the train conductor stopped the train at the Grand Concert Hall, the orchestra conductor arrived. Because the orchestra librarian had copies of the score, that's the printed music, the notes. Because the orchestra librarian had copies of the score, the orchestra rehearsed. Because workers checked the lights and seats and swept the floors, the grand hall was ready. Because the time had come, the ushers opened the doors.
So you see, it takes a lot of people to make a symphony orchestra concert happen, not just the musicians.
And because someone's uncle caught a cold, someone's aunt had an extra ticket for someone special. There she is. Because the usher helped the aunt and her special guest, they found their seats. Because everyone was there to hear beautiful music, it was quiet. See, look, the violins and cellos, they sit in the front, remember, because they're not the loudest. The woodwinds behind them, and then the loudest, the brass family, and drums, they're in the back. There's the orchestra playing. The notes are like fireworks. It's a beautiful piece, and we're going to listen to it. In row C, seat 14, sat the girl with the uncle's ticket. She heard the beautiful music written by the man named Franz, and it changed her. The girl was changed. She's floating on air in a swirl of musical notes. From that moment on, the girl learned everything she could about music. Look, she's conducting her stuffed animals. Soon, she started to write music too. She practices the violin, the piano, and the flute. Because like Franz, the young woman had something to share. She's growing up. She's now a young woman. Over time, the woman became very good because she worked hard. One night, her music was discovered because she's also very lucky. That's true. She was invited to perform her music at the Grand Concert Hall because so many people wanted to hear it. The composition was dedicated to the uncle in row C, seat 14, because it was his ticket that brought her here. She's got a baton. And that night, someone else was changed. He's walking on air too. That is how it happens. So before we listen to Schubert, let's listen to Beethoven and check in with Skate Lummox. So Beethoven was famous not just for the fantastic music he wrote, but he was also a virtuoso concert pianist, and people used to love to come see him play. This was about 200 years ago. Okay, friends, now we're going to listen to Schubert, Symphony Number 8. Things to listen for: woodwinds, brass, and strings. Cello is very important in this song. So also our rhythms, if you remember: plum, plum, apple, plum. And then there's our rest, plum, plum, rest, plum, plum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. Lots of watermelons for not just the cellos, but the violins as well. And so forth. So it starts off with the cellos and basses together, playing the low notes. You'll hear this. Something like that. Something else to listen for. If you're not playing with the bow, you can use your fingers sometimes, and that's in here too. It's called pizzicato. Can you say pizzicato? I don't know if you said it. And then we arrive at for the cellos, which goes something like this.
Okay, friends, you're in the back of the orchestra. You see the bassoon and the French horn, strings and cellos up front, and this guy is the conductor. His job is to look like the music. Cellos and basses together. Ooh, does he look mad? No, he looks like the music. Here comes our violins. Watermelon, watermelon. Oboe. Clarinet is behind her. There's your violins. Woodwinds. Crescendo. Get louder. French horns. Rest, plum, plum. The cello theme. Violins, they play the same thing. Rest, plum, plum for the cellos. Does he look like the music? Crescendo. Flutes. The cellos and violins going back and forth. There's the basses. Remember, the bigger the instrument, the lower it sounds. Now the brass is in because it's loud. When you need it to be loud, bring in the brass. Violins are playing what the cellos play. Woodwinds. Now it's their turn. There's the flute and the oboe together. Pizzicato. So the amazing thing is that they all have different parts, but it all works together like a machine. That's what makes it so fantastic, friends. Watermelons in the basses. Another crescendo. Makes it so much more exciting with dynamics, soft and loud. really does look like the music. Now everybody's playing the opening part, the opening cello part. Is this fast or slow? Timpani drum. It's fast, it's allegro. Says so right on the music. There's our flute guy. More pizzicato. All right, good listening.
So we just listened to about half of the first movement of Schubert Symphony Number 8. I hope you'll be inspired like the little girl in the book to listen to the whole thing. And it's fun to watch the orchestra play, isn't it? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're in my music classes, or ever were in my music classes, I miss you.
Where's the